Good morning everybody, and this is your S&P 500 setups for today. So a couple of things going on. Obviously this is still my ideal area to look to buy. I just want to put this this wider zone in place, and that is at 5200, 51.95 all the way down to 51.74. That would be the next area of decent support. Now we have got a channel break, and it could be a channel break retest, and I'll show you that here on the 3 hour. So there's our channel, a fairly tight channel that's been formed last week and a little bit of this week. Broke out yesterday. We came back to test the bottom of it late yesterday. That was going into the close, so there it is there. Now the question is this retest at 52.21 a retest of the break, or are we getting back into the channel to mosey on down to 5200, which is the area we're looking at? Just looking at the oscillators at the moment, are pointing down. We're widening. If you look at the red and the green lines, you can see that we are widening as well. And just looking for an example, here's an example here where you can see they widen, track each other down, and then eventually round. And that's one looking for a bigger deviation. I don't think we're going to see one. It's not often that it happens. No. Okay, so normally if it is a very wide separation, you can see there a fairly strong trend, and then we have a fairly strong reversal as well. So lots of little things that you need to look at inside here. But nevertheless, for this at the moment, two things could be happening, obviously. We're either going up or we're going down. Now, every time somebody from the Feds opens their mouths, something happens. So this was the Feds last week, and the dates are related to everybody with Feds, and then we kind of just drift down, and then as the Feds speak through the week, then we get this kind of chaos. Anyway, looking at the hour, crossover the moving averages in between all the moving averages, so that's a bit risky. Channel is very, very clear that we've had a break, and we are attempting to do a retest of this channel. I would just add the swing low in, and we'll get to the actual levels shortly, because we're going to have to add a few more in as well. So two scenarios here. Obviously we could get going to the upside. We did start getting a fairly decent ride to the upside, but then came back. So during the European session we were rallying quite nicely, and then coming into the US session, confusion and then sell off. So I'm not convinced. We're not at any level that is decent enough for the bulls to get back in, as far as I'm concerned. That is down at 5200, and you can see, if you if you move to the left on the 1 hour, you can already see the importance of that zone that I've given you already. Now get down to the 15 minutes, and life changes ever so slightly. So above the moving averages, confusion inside the moving average, lots of barbed wire. Very similar situation to the day before. Look there. Confusion, and then a bit of a sell-off going to the close. Confusion, and then big sell-off going on to the close. The big question here is, are we looking to reject this area? In other words, should we be looking for a short today, aiming for 5200, or is this just a channel retest or a flag retest, and we're now looking to move to the upside? 50-50 call, in my opinion anyway. One thing that I would be very interested in is this pin bar, and that pin bar sits at 52.33. So obviously I'd like to see price get above that, build a base, and then move. I'm very reluctant for jumping in long here. It's not a good enough area for me. If you just look left, and we sort of close below it, closing above it, and then you have this little area here at 52.29, 52.30. So if we are going to be rejecting any of these levels that we've looked at, and it's going to start at 52.24, a break and retest of 52.21, a rejection of 52.29, a rejection of 52.33. If we're going to reject any of that, then I would expect us to continue to the downside. Now, last things here, if you just draw that trend line there, if we get above 52.30, I think I'm just going to be sitting on my hands, because that could go either way. So we could reject a little bit higher and move down, or we could just go drift sideways, get back above the moving averages, try build a base, and then try and validate this flag. But for all intents and purposes, there's no real 3-hour structure here. Even if you go down to the 2-hour, you do have an inside bar, but it's not off a level. So there's no level that it's come off. All it did was just validate this 52.20 area. Look at the oscillators here. If you just keep going through the different time frames, you're going to see a mixed bag of signals. Even here, we do have an inside bar. We've got a grouping and a crossover of the oscillators. But look left, it's not off a level. So I'm very, very reluctant to be looking at this. If it had bounced off one of these levels at 52.21 or 52.24, different tune. I would then be a little bit more confident that this is just a flag retest or a channel retest. So yeah, I'm not convinced either way. I don't think there is much that is indicating we have a long brewing, and there's not much that's indicating we have a short brewing either. But on the lower time frames, there's definitely opportunity. You're just going to have to be watching very carefully. So rejection of these levels I've given you, you're probably looking for another leg down back into the bigger channel, and then drifting down to 51.200. I would have an alert in at 51.200, because you're definitely looking for an opportunity to buy there. Anyway, that's kind of me for today. I hope it helps, and we'll catch up with you tomorrow morning. Cheers for now.